What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another episode of this week's Dragon Ball Q&A session, where we have lots of awesome questions to go through. And again, Dragon Ball Super episode 66 airs tonight. So in case you guys want to go ahead and join me on the official live stream tonight, where we can talk about Dragon Ball Super episode 66, and of course the official review that's going to be dropping tonight. So make sure you guys tune back to the channel so you guys can catch the review and the live stream. And again, guys, these questions that I'm going to answer here today apply to you as well. So if your opinions differ from mine, then simply drop them down below. And of course, if you guys have any sort of Dragon Ball related question to ask me, drop your questions down in the comment section below. And also, guys, don't forget to like the video to share your support, and make sure to subscribe in case you guys are new to the channel for more Dragon Ball updates. So without wasting any time, guys, let's go ahead and begin with our very first question, which is from Johnny Davis. Alex, you are easily the most entertaining Dragon Ball YouTuber on here. How people fail to see that blows my mind. Thank you, bro. You are truly a good soul, and thank you for replying to me on Twitter. No problem, man. Follow me on that Twitter. And here are my questions. Question number 1, what do you think Vegito's weakness is? Question number 2, what do you think Zamasu's weakness is? Question number 3, what do you think Trunks will do that will be a key point on ending the arc based on the interview you shared with us? Thanks, Alex. Well, thank you for the questions, by the way. Now, in case you guys have not checked out my previous video indicating and revealing some of the spoilers for Dragon Ball Super, you guys might want to go ahead and check it out if you guys want to know more. Of course, it was said that Vegito does have a weakness. Now, it spiked my interest because I was a little curious as to what this weakness actually is, and judging based on your comments, judging based on your feedback, a lot of you guys were indicating that this weakness just might be his temper. It might be the fact that he's cocky. I don't think that's the case at all. Comparing base Vegito from Dragon Ball Z and Super Vegito, or at least Super Saiyan God Vegito in Dragon Ball Super, there's a clear-cut difference here. Vegito has grown exponentially since encountering Majin Buu in Dragon Ball Z, so obviously enough, you know, it's common sense that he's stronger now because he's a Super Saiyan Blue. I think what his weakness might be is the fact that he just might, you know, have too much power, and it might be sinking in. And to elaborate further, I mean that I think that maybe it might be draining his life energy per se, or maybe simply he doesn't have time. But then again, that doesn't really make any sense at all either, because Vegito doesn't really have a timer as opposed to the Men of Marie's fusion Gogeta, where it does have a timer. So I don't think this is going to be a time thing. If it is, that's going to be like a big shocker, because if they start introducing the portion of time and stuff, like that'll really suck big time, but I really doubt that. So that's the least of my concerns. I think that maybe his weakness is the fact that, you know, since he's Super Saiyan Blue, his power just keeps on rising and rising and rising, and there is no breaking limit to that. So maybe that takes away from his life force. And of course, he can easily die. He's not immortal. And I think that Zamasu just may push him to the point where he recognizes this and he wants Vegito to get stronger, because that can cause him to die. Whereas opposed to Zamasu, he can't really die despite what happens. So he has the advantage here either way. A lot of you guys tend to forget how strong Zamasu is. Infinite potential, immortality. This guy can do whatever he wants. So that's a very scary thing to recognize, especially going up against the villain that has multiple capabilities and the powers to forge his own kind of weapons per se, like the scythe or maybe other things. But I just firmly believe that Vegito's weakness just might come from within. I really doubt that if Zamasu takes his earrings off or something like that, that it's going to affect him. But what I do think may play a role here, a huge role here, is the fact that Vegito's powers just might be too much for the fusion to handle per se. Maybe. But then again, I don't have the answers to that. But I think that in my speculation, it just might be the fact that I really doubt that it's based on his persona, because right now he seems to be taking this fight very serious because he knows the consequences. So I think that it just might be his power and his life force per se. Now, Zamasu's weakness. It was said by Kido that Zamasu's weakness might be the fact that he is just one person. I mean, despite the fact that he fused with Goku Black is ultimately Zamasu. So it's Zamasu combined with Zamasu. But then again, only one of those Zamasus is immortal and the other one is mortal. So if you have an immortal combine himself with an immortal, that right there can cause complications. And what I mean by that is if you have one person who can die and the other person who can't die, you're gonna have to forge that in somehow. I saw a couple of comments where a lot of you guys were like, oh, this is melted candle Zamasu, which had me dying. But I think that since Goku Black, he's very strong, even stated by Kido, the producer of the show, that if it were not for Beerus, Goku Black would be the strongest character there. So that just says a lot for in and of itself. So I think that his weakness, Zamasu's weakness at least, might be Goku Black being a part of that fusion. Because number one, it's corrupt. Number two, having the basis of someone who can't die versus someone who can die in one body kind of creates a lot of complications. So I think that he is susceptible to dying, but there has to be a very key way of figuring out how, because if Vegito exposes one of his weaknesses on how to die and he exploits that, and then ultimately enough he'll have the advantage here. So I think that Goku Black's being inside of Zamasu's body or fusion just might play a role in his weakness. Now, to answer your third question, now Keto also said that we have to keep our eyes peeled for Trunks, because Trunks will have a chance to shine and he will play a very key role in ending this. So my guess is the Mafuba. I doubt that Trunks is going to have any sort of power increase that's going to supersede Vegito. So that's what tells me that, you know, Trunks isn't really going to be sort of like the main, you know, muscle like hero here. I doubt that. I think that I still stand by my comments, and I think that Vegito is the muscle of the group. He's going to be the one that's going to beat down Zamasu. However, I still also stand by the fact that Trunks is going to be the brains of the operation. So I think that either the Mafuba technique is going to work, or if Vegito exposes this weakness, Trunks just might capitalize by exploiting that with his sword, stabbing him, doing something. I think that, again, well, yeah, you also have to ask yourself, it's like, you know, Roshi does have the seal, so they can't really go back in time per se, not unless, of course, Gowasu agrees to do so. They can't really take the time machine and stuff, because I think Zamasu's going to figure that out, but then again, Vegito's going to hold him back. But I think that Trunks is either going to use the Mafuba, or if Vegito exploits this weakness and exposes that to Trunks is going to help out by trying to further destroy this weakness that Zamasu has, thus ending his fusion. But then again, like, this can go in any different way, because it's actually quite hard to say, well, all right, we're gonna have Vegito definitely kill him via, you know, final explosion or Kamehameha or whatever. That's not gonna happen. I still don't think that it'll make sense to have Vegito be the hero of Trunks' story. You guys follow me here on this one? So I think that by the end of this, I think that Trunks is definitely gonna be the hero. And something tells me it's gonna be the Mafuba. So, but anyways, Mr. Johnny, I want to say thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a very, very awesome day, my friend. Now moving on to the next question, which is from Caleb. Hey bro, I just wanted to give you a shout out from the Naval Base in San Diego and say that I love your content. I never miss an upload. Thank you, man. Holy shit. Well, I remember you from the live streams, so thank you so much, and a salute to all of you guys at the Naval Base in San Diego. That really inspires me. That really means a lot to me. So thank you so much for the love and support, and I hope you guys take the time to also thank Caleb for serving his country as well. I have 4 different questions. All right, question number 1, do you think it's possible that Roshi could somehow be alive in the future and Trunks asks him for the new seal? Interesting. Or maybe the seal is in the house still, because if you saw, they showed the house perfectly intact in episode 66. Question number 2, how strong do you think the Omni King's guards are compared to our characters like Goku, Trunks, and Beerus? Question 3, do you think that if Beerus seriously trained with Whis or by himself, he can grow stronger? We never really see him train, and yet he's crazy powerful. We saw it with Frieza. Maybe Beerus can unlock a new level. That would be crazy. Question 4, do you think we'll ever start visiting other universes? How cool would it be if GT was another one of those universes that Goku and Vegeta can visit? Hope you use these questions. Thought it was for fun. Love you, man. Love you too, bro. Thank you so much. Very good questions, by the way. To answer your first question, a lot of you guys brought this up in my previous videos. A lot of you guys were saying, well, we saw how Kami's house was still there, so maybe the seal just might be there somewhere. It's possible, it really is. But the likelihood of that happening is 0 to none, especially if they're looking to wrap this up really fast. It wouldn't make sense for them to just say, oh, well, we know where the seal is. It might be at Roshi's house here. Like, I mean, who's to really say for sure? The possibility of him being alive is doubtful. I really doubt that Roshi's alive during that time. However, if the seal is there, that'll make a lot of sense for them to even conjure up, you know, some sort of plan to say, well, if we can't go back into the past, why don't we check, you know, current Roshi's place, which is the future Roshi, just to see if the seal is there, and for them to find it and having to travel all the way back to the battlefield. It'll be crazy to see, but I mean, is it possible? I think that's more likely than them traveling back into the past to get that little seal. So I think that the likelihood of this happening is very, very high, because if the Mafuba is set to be the main key to finishing this arc, then it'll only make sense for them to find a seal in the future where Kami's house is, or Roshi's house, whatever you want to call it, and for them to put the seal on Zamasu once he's sealed away. Now, to answer your second question, how strong do I think the Omni King's guards are? Those two have to be fucking really strong, dude. There's no way the Omni King is gonna put them in the position of power and not have them be strong, right? I mean, like, how crazy would it be if like they were equal to like Yamcha or something? Like, that would be kind of sad. Obviously enough, it doesn't make sense having the Omni King, who's superior, be guarded by two, you know, inferior beings. But it only it only makes sense if you don't want to fight. So the Omni King, like, he doesn't have to fight, so why not have people protect him? And in essence, I don't really think that they're there to guard him per se, because the Omni King can handle himself. I think, like, it's undoubtful. But I think that they're just there for like company purposes. And yeah, I mean, they serve the role of bodyguards, but in comparison, how strong are they to Goku and Vegeta and stuff? They could be very, very strong, but then again, they could be weak as well. I really doubt that the Omni King would put two weaklings in the position of power like that, so I think that they might be stronger than Goku and Trunks. In terms of Beerus, maybe as well. It's unclear as to who the top 5 fighters are in the entire multiverse, so those two could be it. But then again, that'll really take away a lot if they are a part of that same, you know, ranking of like the top 5. But then again, it would make sense in a way, because you'll have the Grand Priest and the 2 bodyguards and then 2 other mysterious fighters. But in terms of Beerus, I think that they might be equal, but I do also have a feeling that they might be stronger. Can't really give you a definite answer on that one. I mean, I would assume they're stronger, but Beerus is pretty strong too, so I don't know about that. Now, to answer your third question, if Beerus seriously trained, could he get stronger? Absolutely. That's just Dragon Ball logic, right? If anybody trains, they can get stronger. Hell, if Krillin trained, if Yamcha trained, if anybody trained, they can get stronger. So I think that if Beerus were to really train, that dude would get ridiculously strong. However, I don't think there's any need for that, because right now he does sit at the very tippy top of the totem pole when it comes to rankings amongst anyone in Universe 7, even Goku and Vegeta. So there is no reason for him to train unless there is a person that comes up in Universe 7 that far exceeds him in terms of power. Then that gives Beerus a reason to train. But in terms of anything else, you're right. I mean, Frieza trained for an X amount of time and he got crazy strong. So, but then again, that's a part of Frieza's race. He's a prodigy, so it's only natural for him to train for that long and then get like ridiculously strong. But in terms of Beerus, I do agree that if he were to train, he would get crazy strong. Now, to answer your final question, visiting other universes, I really hope so. Now, it would be awesome to see GT as a different universe per se, like a different timeline or whatever. I really doubt that'll ever happen, but I would like to see Goku and Vegeta visit Universe 6 and check out Kabe's planet, or maybe even go out there somewhere and just like visit Universe 2, visit Universe 8, visit Universe 12, just to check out what's going on. And perhaps maybe the next arc is going to include something to where we are going to go out there and we are going to, you know, travel throughout the universes and the cosmos and check out different people and different opponents and whatever. Like, I think it's possible, but it's only a matter of like how they're going to tell that story. You know, how are you going to tell the story of these guys traveling from universe to universe? Like, what purpose is there for them to travel? You get what I'm saying? But I would definitely like to see that. I would love to see Vegeta go on Kabe's planet and talk to the king over there, or the prince or whatever. Like, wouldn't that be interesting to see? The Prince of All Saiyans in Universe 7 confronting the King of All Saiyans in Universe 6 and stuff like that. That'll really be an epic confrontation. But anyways, Caleb, I want to say thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a fantastic day, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Clarence Bray. What's going on, man? Hey, Alex, sorry for the late questions. I wanted to say you're the best Dragon Ball philosopher, and you have no competition. Thank you for that, brother. I have 3 questions. The question number 1, do you think Trunks will go back to Roshi to get the seal? Question 2, if they do, can Vegito hold Zamasu black? Question 3, if so, will they use Kaioken technique? Again, thank you for answering my questions. If you're ever in Orlando, Florida, we have a Dragon Ball restaurant, so you should check it out. Have a blessed day. Can't wait for the next episode. Actually, I was in Florida last year, and I plan on visiting Florida next year. Next year, I plan on doing lots and lots of trips. So hopefully enough, if I do go to the soup spot, because I think that's the place that you're referring to, Super Saiyan Soup or something like that. I forgot the restaurant's name, but I'm definitely gonna let you guys know if I'm ever in the area. Now, to answer your first question, as I said earlier, in the previous dude, Caleb, that asked me, I don't think they're gonna go back to get the seal. I think that maybe it might be here. It's possible that it is, but then again, if they go back in time and then they're gonna have to go forward and stuff, like, it's just a lot of like, I think it'll be a lot of unneeded filler per se for them to go back and forth. unless of course they figure out like an alternative. But I think that they could go back. It's not impossible, but I doubt that it'll actually happen. Now, to answer your second question, will Vegito hold off Zamasu if they do decide to get like some sort of seal? I mean, it's obvious enough that he is. It's obvious enough that he is. But I think that by the end of it, they're both gonna exploit their weaknesses per se. Zamasu is gonna exploit Vegito's weakness, and Vegito's gonna exploit Zamasu's weakness. Think about it here. We have two Potara fusions like duking it out. Like, this is great. This is like Christmas came early for us. But I think that by the end of it, nobody's gonna interfere. Nobody's gonna interfere when you're gonna have Vegito fight Zamasu. This is gonna be like the guerrilla warfare style of both characters. Like, they're gonna stick to each other, and that is that. Vegito's primary focus is Zamasu, and Zamasu's primary focus is Vegito. Now, you're saying, like, your final question is talking about the Kaioken technique. The Kaioken technique, as awesome as it is, as awesome as we all want to see it happen, I really doubt it's going to happen because Vegito is, like, supremely powerful right now, right? Using Kaioken would even boost his powers up even more, but there's a chance of him dying. You guys are forgetting that he's not immortal. He can die from this. He really can. He's not susceptible to this. He can die. So what if he uses Kaioken and dies? I mean, then what? Who's left to fight off Zamasu? That'll really be grim. But I think that by the end of it, Kaioken will not be utilized, at least for now, because I think Vegito's weakness is going to kick in, and we're going to see both sides of the character, per se, just get diminished by their weaknesses. So I don't think Kaioken will be used. Even if Kaioken is used, think about it, right? How the fuck is Vegito supposed to hurt him if he can't die, right? So even with Kaioken, you're only prolonging like your own demise if you're going to use that and know that it's not going to have any sort of effect. So by the end of it, I really can't see the Kaioken being used, but I do think it might be saved for the Omni tournament, to be quite blunt with you. But anyways, Mr. Clarence, thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a very awesome day, bro. And now moving on to the next question, which is from TF HUD. Love you, Alex. I've been following you for a long time before Battle of Gods. Damn, thank you so much for that, man. And you're still here. I greatly appreciate your friendship and your support, man. So here are a few questions for your next Q&A. Please answer these. Question number 1, why didn't Black Rose wish for the death of all humans? Personally, I think it's because he wanted to deliver justice for himself. Well, there you go. You answered your own question. Question 2, how would you introduce Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball canon? How would you make Super Saiyan 4 canon? Pitch it. Question 3, when is the next roast? Please roast Trunks for the timeline bullshit because of the creation of Goku Black. Well, thank you for the questions, by the way. Now, to answer your first question, Goku Black or Zamasu or whoever could have easily wished for everyone to die. That is it's right in your face, right? If you have the wish to do whatever you want, they could have easily wished for the death of all humans. But if you're a psychopath, if you're some sort of narcissistic maniac, then you take pleasure in torturing and seeing people suffer. And as you just said, he wanted to deliver justice for himself, by himself, for the namesake of creating his own paradise. So I don't think by wishing for all the death of the humans and stuff, it would have made too much sense. Obviously enough, he would have completed his plan a lot sooner, but that really wouldn't have meant anything because to him, it's like, all right, I wish for immortality and I wish for the death of humans, and then that's it. It's like what after that, right? So I think that by him invoking his own rule of law, and by him, just demonstrating his fierce hate for humans made more sense to me because obviously enough, if he really despises humans and he really cannot stand the sight of anyone, it'll only make sense for him to do, the cleaning up of humans by himself per se than having a mere wish do it for him. Now, if I were to introduce Super Saiyan 4, presumably enough in Dragon Ball Super, this is my pitch, right? And hear me out on this. I would have Whis, after this is all over, bring them to their planet and stuff, and I would have Whis talk about, well, listen guys, you're strong, but there's a lot of imperfections in both of you, and I just wanted to say that, we can improve on this, but you guys are going to have to listen, and I'm very happy that you guys work together, but there's still a couple of setbacks that you both have. So then I would have Whis pretty much use his staff and tell them both to look. And as they look in the staff, Goku and Vegeta can observe Goku and Vegeta in GT have like Super Saiyan 4 and have all these like cool things, and then I would have Goku and Vegeta say to themselves like, whoa, like what's that? Is that us? And Whis can be like, yes, that is you from a different timeline. And then Vegeta can be like, well, what's that form? Like, why are we covered in hair? And why do we have like a different like look to us? Like, is that Super Saiyan God? And I would have Whis say, no, that is actually another form that you guys have found out on your own called Super Saiyan 4 that far exceeds Super Saiyan 3, and this is the timeline of what would have happened if we never showed up, meaning Beerus and Whis during Battle of Gods. So that would have been like really interesting for Whis to say, well, like this is the what if story of if we never came to Earth and we never bumped into you guys, and you guys took your own paths in life and not trained with us and stuff, and never even discovered Super Saiyan God to begin with, this would have been the outcome. That would have been really cool to see Goku and Vegeta say, wow, so there is a new form beyond Super Saiyan 3 and whatever, and then they can both speculate as to like which is stronger and stuff, and Whis could be like, oh, like, you know, I guess you're gonna have to find that out on your own or whatever. So I mean, that's my little pitch to it. I definitely wouldn't have Super Saiyan 4 exceed Super Saiyan Blue, but I would have them guessing as to like, whoa, how strong is that? Like, can we achieve it, Vegeta, and stuff like that. Now to answer your final question, the next roast, it's definitely gonna be on Yamcha. It's probably gonna be on Gowasu as well. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna do one on Trunks as well for having to be bitched out in the future and then having to go back and cry for daddy and whatever. But in case you guys want to see a specific roast, just let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to do that for you guys, because that'll surely be entertaining. But again, I do want to say thank you so much for your question, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And I also wanted to say thank you guys for watching this episode of Dragon Ball Q&A. Again, keep in mind, if you guys have any sort of Dragon Ball question to ask me, drop them down below now. And of course, tune in for the review tonight and the live stream. And it's going to be something that you guys don't want to miss out on, because we're going to be just going crazy over Dragon Ball tonight. So thank you all for watching. As always, I truly hope you guys enjoyed. Tune in for the next video, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. And again, guys, have a blessed day, and I'll be seeing you all later, guys. Take it easy. Peace.